Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aeron Nix, the Egyptian Death Machine. This is the Wrestle podcast, and you are watching the Outcast Pro Wrestling Lights Out pre-show, which of course is the pre-show to the show that goes down in 2 days, that is Lights Out at Strings Bar and Venue, Newport, Isle of Wight. Outcast Pro Wrestling presents Lights Out. 5 matches on tap. It's only £8 to get in. Tickets are still available. Scan the QR code, get yourself a ticket, or if you can't scan the QR code, don't worry about it. Head to the description in this video and make sure you click on that link and buy yourself a ticket. £8, doors open at 8 o'clock, and of course it is 16 plus. So if you've got little ones under the age of 16, unfortunately they will not be admitted. They will not be allowed entrance into the venue, but anyone of 16 or over is allowed to get into the venue, and of course there is a bar available as well. So if you're thinking of getting liquored up, making a lot of noise, getting a bit rowdy, this is the place to do so. So Lights Out, June 25th, 5 matches on tap. Let's get cracking with it and let's look at the 6-pack challenge. Now there's been a few changes to this card, courtesy of the general manager and owner Jackson Arrow. He's pulled rank a little bit ever since he beat Rudy Root to become the new general manager, to basically take control of his own company and his own decisions. No idea why he couldn't just do it anyway, to be fair. However, Jackson Arrow's pulled rank. He doesn't want to face JJ Valaire one-on-one. He feels like he can just give himself a contenders match whenever he pleases. He can give himself a title shot whenever he pleases. Therefore, he just stuck himself in a 6-pack challenge because he sees it as an easy night off. Might be a little bit offensive to the 5 other men involved in this match. And of course, Luna Trix has been displaced from this match. She will now face JJ Valaire. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. Now then, let's have a look at this 6-pack challenge. We've got 6 men here, one of which, of course, is Jackson Arrow, the man who, let's be real, has trained these guys. He's the one who's brought them all into the industry. They all know wrestling because of Jackson Arrow. So, theoretically, he should be a heavy favourite here. Not only is he a former champion, but he's also an individual who has helped train and helped build up the reputation that all 5 other men in this match have. So he should know the ins and outs. He should know everything that they can do. We've got Dude Riot, the leader of the Riot Nation. We've got Ajax. We've got HJ Williams. Those are 2 heavy-hitting guys in Ajax and HJ Williams. We've got Nathan Payne, who hasn't been seen for a little while. Not since at least the last show at Winter Gardens, where he put in a good account of himself in that fatal 4-way. And of course, we have somewhat of an X-Factor in the White Wolf, who seems to be building momentum despite losing at the last show in a tag team contest. Very good showing though, good wrestler. All 5 of these guys have great potential, but it's hard to see past Jackson Arrow because he is so good. And also Jackson Arrow has the X factor really of the entire match, and that is of course his personal security, Drew Wilson, who's going to be in his corner. I like the look of this match. I really like the chances of Jackson Arrow, but I'm very excited for the other 5 guys because this is their chance to stamp their mark. You are going to be in the ring with a former Triple Crown winner, Outcast Pro Wrestling champion, Isle of Wight champion, tag team champion. Jackson Arrow is dangerous. Jackson Arrow is one of the best wrestlers in Britain, if not Europe, let alone at Outcast Pro Wrestling, where he has been so dominant, some might say with nefarious tactics, particularly in recent months. But if you're an Ajax, if you're a Dude Riot, if you're any of these guys, you have an opportunity here to really show up and show out. Because even if you don't pick up the win, which you could do, you never know, especially when you have such a crazy elimination style match here, you have a chance to stamp your mark and leave a mark on the fans as well and remind them, hey, my name's Do Riot, my name's Ajax, my name's White Wolf, whoever it may be. And being able to say, I have been in the ring with one of the best in Jackson Arrow, and despite all the shenanigans, I was able to make a good account of myself, or heaven forbid, if the big upset comes, they could truly make a mark. Because let's be honest, if you beat Jackson Arrow, if you eliminate him, not to mention, if you win this match and you're not Jackson Arrow, you've got to think that you are going to be thrown into the mix for a contendership for the Outcast Pro Wrestling Championship. Now, it's funny I mention that because obviously this isn't the only match where you look at it and think, the winner's going to have a say in maybe getting a title shot later down the line. JJ Valera and Luna Trix. Now, originally, JJ Valera was scheduled to face Jackson Arrow. As we've mentioned, he's pulled rank. The one thing I will say is that this was going to be a number one contenders match. Whether it is still or not, we're not entirely sure. Maybe there's news that I'm not forthcoming with that I don't know about. You'll find out on the night. But JJ Valera versus Luna Trix should be the sleeper hit, the standout contest of the night. These are two high-quality wrestlers, both coming off extremely high-profile losses at No Regrets. Luna Trix lost to one half of the Rebellion, Taylor James. No shame in that. Incredible match. Easily one of the great all-time matches of Outcast Pro Wrestling. Not to mention one of the greatest intergender contests I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot, it has to be said. As you know, I love a watch-along. It was an incredible contest. It was a true honour to record a match of that nature. Now, on the flip side of things, JJ Valera lost his OPW Heavyweight Championship to Joe Lando. Just Joe Lando? Just? I mean, it's an unjust moniker, let's be honest. But JJ Valera's coming off arguably the biggest loss of his career. And this must have hurt. And it must be the mental thing. Physically, JJ Valera is a specimen. JJ Valera is an incredible athlete. But he's a quiet guy. And we don't normally get to see much of the mental makeup of JJ Valera. How has he been affected by losing a heavyweight title contest to, admittedly, one of the most exciting talents in the world in Joe Lando? We don't know, but we're going to find out this Saturday at Strings. Because when he faces Luna Trix, he's going to have an entirely different proposition. Now, these two have faced each other before, but it was behind closed doors during the pandemic for OPW Unleashed, which you can check out on their YouTube channel. And I highly recommend you do so, and especially if you are there, make sure you subscribe, because there's some amazing content being thrown out on that channel. For me, I'm looking at this match. I would favour JJ Valera. But I feel like Luna Trix, even though she also lost at No Regrets, made more of a statement. She made more of a mark. To be in the ring with one half of the Rebellion, who some might argue are the best tag team in Britain, and by some margin it could be argued as well, because there aren't many people out there who can even get on their level, never mind get in the ring and challenge them in a fair contest. To be in the ring with someone like that, to take them to the absolute limit, and to really need everything to dispatch her that they did, that proves to me that Luna Trix is legit. That she could legitimately be the heavyweight champion in this company. And a lot of people might scoff at that and go, well, she's the women's champion. She's the CWP women's champion as well. And what's wrong with her being heavyweight champion? What's wrong with her being in a main event? She's good enough. She's talented enough. The match with Taylor James, to most, stole the show. There's no reason why she can't be in the ring with somebody of a JJ Valera's talent, which she's going to be, but there's nothing to say that she couldn't challenge Joe Lando for the title as well. You've got to think the winner of this match is going to be in the best position to then re-challenge Joe Lando whenever he resurfaces on the island. Of course, he's busy working at places like Progress. He was a super strong star, so he's very, very busy, but he will be back very soon to defend that title. Who is he going to face? JJ Valera or Luna Trix? The betting man would say JJ Valera. I am going to pick Luna Trix because I think the idea of a women's heavyweight champion, and to be fair, there have been other great incidences, of this. Tessa Blanchard obviously being the most high-profile one for Impact Wrestling. I think Luna Trix has everything in her locker to be a world champion. I do. I think she could be a heavyweight champion, no problem. Is she a heavyweight? Obviously not. Beautiful, slight woman. But she has all the talent, the athleticism, and she's got a lot of power, a lot of rage, a lot of ferocity, and a lot of personality. And that makes for a very good champion down the line. And she's already got gold. She could be picking up even more. 3 belts, Trix? You never know. Gold, gold, gold. Everywhere you see the last 3 matches are all for gold, as they should be. The Isle of Wight Championship is on the line. Izzy Adams finally gets his chance to capture gold at Outcast Pro Wrestling, at least while I've been watching. And of course, you know that myself and Ebenezer, who's sadly not here, are huge fans of Izzy Adams, the Outcast kid. He finally gets his opportunity at the gold, the Isle of Wight Championship gold that is, when he faces Nero. Just Nero now. The Hunter is gone, it's just Nero. There seems to be a much more serious edge to a man who, let's be honest, was already very serious, very dangerous. However, the X Factor in this match is the last champion. The man who was dethroned at No Regrets, Scrappy Jack. This makes it a triple threat match. Now, this is an interesting dynamic. As Adams comes out at No Regrets, he makes himself very clear. I want a shot. I'm on a roll. He got his first win against Victor Logan. He then followed that up with a tag team victory where he captured a pinfall at No Regrets. Fantastic tag team contest with his partner Ajax. This could be the perfect storm for Azzy Adams. This could be his opportunity. There is no better time for your Azzy Adams to strike. He's been training harder than ever. He's in incredible condition. He's ready to go. This is his opportunity. Can he dethrone the current champion, or will he pin Scrappy Jack? That's the interesting thing about this. As far as I'm aware, this is not elimination. This is just a straight triple threat, which means one fall to a finish. Also, it does, of course, mean that there are no disqualifications because of triple threat rules. And of course, we know that Scrappy Jack and Nero especially love a bit of violence. We've seen what happened at Anarchy Rules. You can check that out on the Outcast Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you do so, because ultimately, that's where it's been edited to perfection by yours truly. Cheap plug alert for the Wrestle plug. I like this match. I think this has got real potential to absolutely steal the show. And of course it has, because all three of these men are insanely talented. Scrappy Jack is relentless. The pitbull, some might say, of Outcast Pro Wrestling. The champion. Somewhat of the cock of the walk now. A little bit of arrogance going on with Nero, and I like that. I like a bit of personality. I like a bit of attitude. He hits hard. He's a great wrestler, an amazing athlete. I really, really like Nero overall as a package. I think he's got the potential to be a real big star in British wrestling. But the guy that we all love, that we all want to do well, at least in our camp, and at least with the people who have a heart, is Azzy Adams, the Outcast kid. How can you not root for this guy? He's an incredible kid. He's a likeable lad. The fans love him. They're behind him. Now's the time. More energy, more personality. Bring it all to the table, Azzy Adams, because this is your opportunity to be the Isle of Wight Championship. And what a fantastic image, and what a representation that title it would be if he can win the Isle of Wight Championship. The belt's been hot potatoed around a lot. It doesn't seem to stay with its owners very long, ever since the Virus K. Michael lost the belt. However, there is always an opportunity for somebody to reinforce the pedigree of what is a very, very prestigious and very competitive title in the Isle of Wight Championship. Triple threat match, I'm going to stick my neck out and say Azzy Adams. It's not really a surprise, is it? Let's be honest. He is basically my adopted son. Me and Ebenezer have always made it very clear that we love Azzy Adams. But like we say, it's hard not to root for someone that special. I'm very excited to see what he can do. This is your opportunity to prove that you belong in the big time, kid. Go and get that chip. Now, speaking of getting that chip, tag team titles on the line. The Annihilation have newly formed as such. It's a new name, but it's an old kind of contest in the sense of it's Axel Chaos, it's Max Carnage. They know each other well. They were part of the Cult of the Apocalypse. They were a destructive duo. They've worked together before. However, they have a different attitude now. They are released from the evil woes of the Cult of the Apocalypse, and now they are just two dangerous brothers. Two big men who like a beer. They like to wear sunglasses at night. No idea what that's all about, but hey, you do you, honey boo. But they are, no doubt, destructive. 700 pounds of meaty, muscly hoss tagging together. The Annihilation is here. However, wow, I tell you what, talk about first level jitters, because they're going straight in at the deep end and they're going after the tag team championships that are currently held by the absolutely outrageously charismatic and enigmatic pairing of Victor Logan, the Chad, and of course the hero Alex Kent. Now these two have been champions for over 200 days. They dethroned Jackson and Rudy Root to win these belts. They are no joke, and they have beaten off every single opponent since. Some might argue there hasn't been much competition because the tag team division has been lacking, and that's why the Annihilation is big business for Outcast Pro Wrestling, because all of a sudden we now have a viable threat, a legitimate tag team in the mix. However, it's a catch-22. Of course the Annihilation are favourites because of their size. They're massive. 700 pounds, meaty hoss. Sounds like a no-brainer. However, Victor Logan is not small. Neither is Alex Kent, to be fair, but Victor Logan is a meaty hoss himself. He hits real hard. He's arrogant, but he believes in his ability. And let's be honest, him and Alex Kent, they're an unlikely duo, but they're the perfect duo. And they seem to be absolutely unstoppable as tag team champions. They have one thing that the Annihilation do not. Guile. They have that ability, that grit, that charisma to drag themselves to another level. We haven't seen what Axel Chaos and Max Carnage can do with the new mindset, under the new moniker, with the new name and the new logo. That's all very well and good that they look all shiny and new. They feel like new toys. They do. They feel like they're brand new out of the box. However, they haven't proven themselves as a pairing in this content. And it's very strange as well that they get a tag team title match. I have to be honest. Doesn't feel like they've earned it. But at the same time, who else is there to face, really? There are no other tag teams. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially with the Rebellion hovering around. You got to feel that the winners of this match are probably going to have a real plum tie, a real money-making matchup with the Rebellion. That's going to be an absolute... That's going to be a feather in somebody's cap, isn't it? Let's be fair. Because if you face the Rebellion, you're on the radar entirely on the British landscape. Not just the Outcast Pro Wrestling on the island. If you face the Rebellion, if it's recorded, if it's out there, if it's on mainstream media, people are going to see it. People are going to recognise it. Yo, the Rebellion, you know? The best tag team in Britain, they face these guys. Whether it be Alex, Ken, Victor Logan, or the Annihilation. So, there's not just the tag team titles at stake here. There's the potential to truly break out as one of the big teams in Britain. Because there's every chance you're going to face the Rebellion next. We know that they're coming back very soon, and if they are, they're going to have to go after tag team gold. That's what they do. They collect tag team titles. And who's going to be standing in their way? The Annihilation? Or the Chad and the Hero? I am going to go with experience, and I'm also going to go with charisma. Pains me to say, I'm afraid, but Axel Chaos and Max Carnage, two destructive units. There's more for you to lose here, because if you do not win the tag titles in, let's be honest, your first outing as the brand new pairing of the Annihilation, where do you go from here? All of a sudden you've fallen at the first hurdle, and it takes quite a while to get back up if you haven't even got on the ladder in the first place. However, if they win, all of a sudden they're catapulted into a very big spotlight, and it'd be interesting to see whether they handle that. Yeah, they've been great on the island. They've had a little bit of mainland exposure, not much, let's be real. Can they overcome the Hero and the Chad? Not for my money. I actually fancy Alex, Ken and Victor Logan to retain at Lights Out. And only one more piece of business needs to be discussed, and that, of course, is for the CWP County Championship. This is very cool, and no doubt the main event, Anarchy Rules 4, goes down. And this alone is why you should be paying £8. Frankly, I would pay £80 to watch this match. Two of the best wrestlers that the United Kingdom has. Full stop. One cut of incredible charisma, of dangerous, maniacal mentality, and the other of a more pure, wholesome variety. Rudy Root, the retro dude, brings his honest brand of professional wrestling, albeit very hard-hitting, to the table as he steps into the playground of Anarchy Rules that belongs to the Virus King Michael. It will be for the CWP County Championship. It will be one fall to a finish. There will be no disqualifications. There will be no counts. There will be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide as these two men look to tear each other apart. The history here is insane. This is what people probably don't appreciate or understand. There is a huge, huge, huge level of history here. These are two men that have clashed so often and so regularly, and they do so again on the biggest platform. And they've been in the main event before as well. Let's not forget it was Rudy Root and Jackson Arrow that overcame Axel Chaos and the Virus King Michael when they were a part of the Cult of the Apocalypse to capture the Tag Team Championships before dysfunction reared its ugly head and Matt Jackson's ego reared its ugly head. And of course, just the vitriol, the hatred. Just last month, at No Regrets, these two almost killed each other in a triple threat match, which also contained Axel Chaos. There's a lot of great long-term storytelling here. There's a lot of vitriol. There's a lot of aggression. It's pain, uncertainty, and panic versus the retro dude himself. This has to end one way or another. Is this going to be the final chapter? Probably not. We might have asked ourselves this many times before, but they have faced each other a number of times. They've even clashed in Royal Rumbles. They were at the Shot Caller Rumble at CWP, and the fact that they were both also in the Fatal 5-Way to crown the inaugural CWP County Championship means that they know each other so well, probably better than anyone else. And that's what makes this match so personal and so intriguing. And that's why you absolutely must pay £8 to see it. You have to. Scan that QR code. Get in that description. £8 to see two of the best wrestlers in the UK murder each other in what is frankly a playground of destruction. Anarchy Rules, but it is the Virus K. Michaels playground. That's the interesting factor here. However, it's not an impenetrable playground by any means, because the Virus has lost an Anarchy Rules match before. Now, he beat Scrappy Jack. He beat Nero. But at Anarchy Rules 3, he was dethroned in his own playground, of course, by Scrappy Jack. This is the first time Rudy Root has had the pleasure, however, to step into this environment. Now, he's been in hardcore matches before, just 1 month ago, in the match that we've mentioned, at No Regrets, the Triple Threat. How is he going to cope when he's one-on-one? The mentality. He says he's not afraid. He says he's not scared of stepping into this man's domain. But that's all very well and good. We can all talk a big game. That's what I'm doing right here, is talking a big game. But it's the boys and girls of Outcast who have to deliver on the night. And we know they're going to. Who's going to deliver here? And also, let's not forget, it's not just about two men who hate each other, two men who want to tear each other apart. It's also about a CWP County Championship. This is the first time, I believe, that a mainland title will be defended in the main event. Correct me if I'm wrong, apologies if I am, but this is the first time I've heard of it, at least at Outcast Pro Wrestling. So all eyes from CWP are also going to be on this. The mainland eyes are going to be paying attention to this. There's a lot at stake. I can't think of two men who better personify Outcast Pro Wrestling, for better or for worse. Obviously, the favourite is the Virus K. Michael. Obviously, we ride with the Virus here at Wrestle Plug. Of course we do. He's a dear friend. And we take great pleasure in having the Virus at Wrestle Plug. That doesn't mean to say that we don't respect Rudy Root a lot. But I feel like this is one step too far for the retro dude. And he has not had a very good time of it recently. He's been racking up losses. He has. He lost that CWP County Championship match recently. He lost the Triple Threat, albeit thanks to Jackson Arrow and Powder in the Eyes. We haven't forgotten that. My bet is on the Virus K. Michael to retain the CWP County Championship, and that means, of course, that if he does, he will face Scrappy Jack in Anarchy Rules 5 at CWP Summertime Smash. So, of course, there's going to be eyes on this from a lot of different places, including the mainland. And let's be honest, you should all be checking this out. Now, footage, of course, will be available if you can't make the show after the fact, but there is only one way to truly enjoy Outcast Pro Wrestling, and that is live at Stringsboro venue. Like I've said so many times, get a ticket. It's £8. If you can get over there, absolutely can. If you contact Outcast Pro Wrestling, they can help you out with your travel, working out how to get to the venue. There are train strikes on this weekend as well, ladies and gentlemen, so be aware of that. Not sure how much that affects the island itself, but there is train strikes, and there is a lot of difficulty with public transport. However, Outcast Pro Wrestling are always happy to take messages. We're happy to take them here at the Wrestle Plug as well. So if you want to work out how to get there, if you're thinking, do you know what, I do want to go to Outcast Pro Wrestling. I'm from the mainland. I haven't been before. I'm on the island. I haven't been before. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. We are absolutely here to make sure that everybody can enjoy live professional wrestling. But it goes down this Saturday, June the 25th. It's lights out. 8 p.m. the doors will open. It's £8 to enter. It's 16+. And I can guarantee you all 5 matches are going to deliver. And Outcast Pro Wrestling is going to deliver like it always does. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Aeron Nix. Thank you very much for watching the pre-show for Outcast Pro Wrestling. And we will see you this Saturday for Lights Out.
Gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
to start sometime. What better place than here? What better time than now? Oh, hell, can't stop us now. No, hell, can't stop us now. Oh, hell, can't stop us now. Oh, hell, can't stop us now. Oh, hell, can't stop us now. No, hell, can't stop us now.